specific innovation or trends have you observed at Infosec Europe that truly excite you?
Yeah. Well, other than Algosec, you mean, in general? But no, Algosec really excites me in what we're doing. But I would say that, some of the big trends that I think are really important and actually sort of align with what Algosec's all about as well is there's a continuation of massive digital transformation. It may be an overused term, really in our parlance when we deal with very large enterprises that are global, work in highly regulated industries. They're all trying to get a competitive advantage and they're moving more and more of their workloads into cloud environments. But the data centers are still very important. So I think what we see most of the time and even walking the floor is sort of multi-cloud and hybrid types of solutions. That's big. AI is also very big, of course, maybe another overused term, but it's real. There's been a lot of hype around it, but even at Algosec, we're leveraging AI in a lot of areas of our platform around security. In particular, discovering applications, understanding the flow of applications and the underlying policy that allows it all to connect. So I think digital transformation is driving all this, speed to market, revenue-driven applications, agility. These are all very important things. AI layered into it to actually do more with less and become even smarter. These are all huge trends, and frankly, for us, we enjoy it and love it because it's something that we're right in the heart of as well.
What opportunities or challenges do you see emerging?
Oh, well, I think I sort of touched on it, but most of the times, for Algosec, we've got, thousands of customers we've sold to over the years, and normally these are very big enterprises. They're typically, banks, financial services firms, insurance, healthcare, government organizations, manufacturing. All of these industries are highly regulated. Being compliant is a big deal, and now as companies move deeper and deeper into cloud environments, I think their exposure, their lack of visibility, their ability to move quickly through automation type efforts do expose them. Most of our customers that we talk to, visibility in cloud is a big deal. They have the business side that's able to move quickly in delivering new applications and updating existing ones. But are they sure about what those applications, the flows and what those applications are talking to? Do they understand any potential risk associated with the policies that allow all that to connect? So when you think about trends and big time things, most businesses are driven by apps. This digital transformation has got the wind at its back, but it's sort of the wild, wild west where the visibility and knowing what all of your apps are talking to, understanding potential risk being introduced into the business around bad policy or old policy or risky policy, and then the change automation process still takes a little too long. We now have customers that used to take them weeks to get new applications through a change management process for security, and we help them bring it down to literally days and hours. And this is huge impact for the success of a business. Not only keeping them secure and compliant, but actually part of driving revenue because their applications are made available more quickly. These are the kinds of things that I think are important, big trends, and something that we're at the forefront of today.
What proactive strategies can enterprises adopt to effectively mitigate its impact?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of our customers, they still do things around security with a manual process. So for instance, we have many customers that are still sort of managing and understanding their firewalls and the rule sets on those firewalls through a manual process. This just simply is not good enough. It's not good enough for several reasons. The manual process takes too long. It introduces undue risk, misconfigurations, things of that nature. And so, we see that manual processes don't work very well. And more customers are actually now moving, as I said before, deep into cloud. So the agility, it's not just cost savings. And you could question whether the cost savings are actually realized between cloud environments and traditional data center networks. But it's more about the agility, the speed at which you can actually create new applications that drive a company forward. And I think that's the exciting part in the cloud environments. But it also introduces risk because the business side moves so quickly, the security side is trying to catch up, and that's another big area. So I think, you move out of the manual processes, you get deeper and deeper into cloud, you actually have to look at ensuring you're compliant, but you also have to look at speed and ensuring that the security side of the house isn't a blocker to the business, but actually a partner to the business to not only speed the delivery of applications to the people that need it most, but also to do it in a very secure way and not end up on the cover of the Wall Street Journal with some sort of ransomware that you've gone through because maybe there were some old risky rule sets on some security group that exposed you, or maybe in a traditional firewall in a data center. And this is where we see most of our customers struggling, and that's what Algosec exists: intelligent automation and compliance and risk management.
If you had to summarize one key takeaway for CISOs or IT decision makers, what would it be and why?
Yeah. One thing. Wow. One thing. That's a really difficult to narrow it down to just one thing. But when I think of the C-suite, CISOs, CIOs, CFOs, CEOs, strategy people, that C-suite, the folks that are actually making big decisions for companies, I think that they're really looking at the technology space and all the innovation. Again, move to cloud environments, leveraging AI to do more with less and become more relevant in terms of speed to market and speed to value. These are big things. And I think if it's one thing that I would tell maybe the C-suite, and I would say this simply from our experiences with our existing customers, big banks, big insurance companies, big manufacturers that operate at global scale, the way that their businesses are actually driven now is much more through their engagement, through their technology assets, and things like their revenue-driving applications, their employee engagement style applications, or partner style applications. Everything is driven through some sort of digital interaction. So the ability to secure those environments where those applications are made available and ensure that the policies associated with making all of that to connect, it's critical that that is locked down and secure. But also, the security side of the house needs to be a business partner to the business side. And I think there's a big opportunity to do so. And I would say that now more than ever, the C-suite has to think about security as a boardroom initiative and effort, and then introducing new technologies and innovators that can actually ensure that you marry the business side of the house with the security side of the house to achieve two big things. One is remaining secure and compliant, and then two is actually addressing the needs of the business by going fast. These two things sometimes are diametrically opposed, but now technology like Algosec is actually helping bring those two worlds together for competitive advantage and strategic advantage. So that's where I'd spend my time.